Welcome everyone to another community call. This is May 7, 2025. And I don't know where to start because there are so many things. As you know, I was not here last week because we had the most wonderful week, or we could already start calling it Decentralized Justice Week. We did last week in partnership with King's College um, in London, which is one of the most important universities in the UK. Two events. One on April 23rd. It was a workshop about legal tech, how to build a company in legal tech, and it was a full day thing. And I was the facilitator, and we had like about 15 people like working in groups, working in building their little companies, and then at the end making a pitch demo day style, which went really well. We organized this in partnership, as I said, with King's College and also with ArbTech, which is a quite cool community for arbitrators and people who are interested in the future of arbitration and how technology is affecting the industry. So we had also Sophie Nappert, who is a very well-known arbitrator in the traditional ecosystem, and she does like oil and gas, construction, uh, types of disputes over like millions of dollars. And also we had Rob, who is member of our board, and he's not an arbitrator. He's like a dispute resolution professional, more like a mediator, who works on also the traditional ecosystem, and he has been exploring not only Kleros but also the use of AI in dispute resolution processes. So he's like really an expert now in using ChatGPT, Claude, and all these tools to streamline and make the resolution process more efficient. And so he also oriented the teams that participated with those tools. So that was a really great, as they say in France, it was like an amuse-bouche. It's like the entry. Uh, and then we had on the 24th, it was the main dish, let's call it, the main conference. We had a full day conference in the same room where we had the workshop. Um, and I made a short introduction with Carmine Ventre, who is the um, director of the AI Institute of Artificial Intelligence at King's. And then we had most of the show was basically William, because he's been the person who has done most research about decentralized justice over the years. And we managed to gather into the same room, either in person or virtually. Some of the main researchers, not only researchers, some of them researchers and academics, but also practitioners who participated in different ways throughout the history of Kleros. For example, we had Colin Rule, who participated remotely because he was in the airport, but he said the nicest things about Kleros, and everything is on record, so you will get to listen to. We already have the footage. We are doing the edits, so it will take a bit of time until we can share it with you, but everything is on record, so we are going to have like lots of materials. um I guess it's better if I just leave William to explain a bit about the conference and the different panels. Yeah, please, William, you go ahead.
Yeah, we had a variety of different panels that touched on different aspects of mostly mechanism design related to decentralized justice. So I was on several, and brought together, my experience trying to do this in Kleros for, like a live application, with, other academics, practitioners, people who think about this. So I was on a panel for social choice theory, which looks at all our research around voting systems and like how do you adapt the traditional theory of voting systems to this slightly different context, where you're trying to aggregate people's judgments about some observation they're making of the world in a way that doesn't allow vote splitting, that's like attack resistant, and etc. Peer prediction, which is a related idea that deals with incentive mechanisms for crowdsourcing. So sort of exactly the kind of mechanism post Kleros. And then how do you adapt the existing sort of peer prediction literature, which doesn't necessarily have attack models and models about participant collusion that are as pessimistic as what you honestly need to assume in a decentralized application. Like what can you do if you like really boil things down to what will be attack resistance on the blockchain? Also had a panel on blockchain identity mechanisms. So like sort of questions around proof of personhood, cell-bound tokens, related ideas, and how can you sort of what spaces does this open up in improving your mechanism design that you didn't have when you didn't have those tools? How did the attack models change? We had Pooja Olhaver speak remotely as part of that panel, which she's one of the people who's pioneered a lot of that work. She's on the paper that kind of coined the idea of cell-bound tokens.
Which
also,
she says is an
that I wasn't
outdated
on.
concept, by the way.
Yeah. So like listen to our panel, and you can get her nuanced views on this. She has more refined ideas that are more recent ideas anyway. That she thinks are more versatile than cell-bound tokens. You can see our discussion about this. So she has this recent paper on community currencies, which attempts to like. You stake a part of your currency to get some like non-transferable kind of stake in a community, but at the same time, like being part of this community like generates tokens from you. So there's also like a monetary aspect, and they kind of interact in interesting ways. And then we had other panels that I wasn't on AI and how it's going to impact the sort of decentralized justice space. And I guess there was one that was more legal. Like Sophie Nappert was on, and like some of the more people in the like traditional arbitration world on like legal aspects.
Yeah, so that one we had Federica Carugati. She was the moderator. Federica Carugati, she's awesome. She's a classics professor. I mean, and she wrote this excellent book called "Creating a Constitution." That is how the ancient Athenians, created their constitution, and of course, part of the constitution is the justice system, on which, as you know, Kleros is like loosely inspired. And so she, but told me, I mean, I didn't know this, but she did her PhD dissertation under the supervision of Josiah Ober, who is like maybe the most important, professor of political science and classics in the world. He's a professor at Stanford. We interviewed him for our blog a while ago already, and she actually had a in her presentation. And she works with Nathan Schneider, who is a professor at Colorado, and they are building this database of governance archaeology. And well, this is about reviewing all of the ways of governance that different communities have tested over time. I mean, the Persians, the Athenians, the Romans, until present day, to see what we can learn from all of those experiences into building the governance systems of, DAOs and all that. So it was really cool to have that panel. So it was Federica, it was Nathan, who was from Colorado. I mean, you are going to see Nathan at Stanford. I think William, maybe he's going to be in person there, right?
I think so. He's speaking anyway.
He's great, and he has all of this very important critique of not just Kleros, but about crypto economics as a limitation on governance and the problems that cannot be resolved through crypto economics. And a big part of that debate, well, it also involves Vitalik as well. Well, William also, because part of the critique is to Kleros, so he was nice enough to come to our conference. So, and then there was Sophie, and then there was Michael Schilling, who is a law professor he's from Germany, but he's there living in London, so he teaches. I think he was the vice dean of research of King's. So very nice. Anything else you want to comment on the conference, William?
Not really. Had lots of good conversations. Interesting ideas, things to take away. But it went well.
Yeah, we had like excellent also comment from people. I mean, well, Paul, Goldberg was there. Paul's the professor at Oxford Computer Science, who partnered with us for doing this work together for having a computer science student in decentralized justice at Oxford. Supported half by Oxford and half by Kleros. So he was there. I mean, it was great to meet him again. And then we had like many people who came and went. It was quite crowded. Some of them cannot say names, but some of them like were like mostly like practitioners interested in, for example, consumer applications of Kleros. We had people coming from telecommunications companies, for example. I mean, people dealing with the legal issues at telcos have lots of disputes with customers over like those different situations they have. So it was really, really interesting. So hopefully we will have great things coming from this. I mean, at some point we will think of doing this on a yearly basis, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But it was a really good experience. I mean, stressful because lots of things to coordinate. And well, I guess I'm a bit exhausted now, but it went excellent. I mean, perfect. You will see the footage. It's amazing, basically. So that is the thing about the London conference. Then I stayed a few extra days because uh, the following week there was very important conference of digital solution that was organized at the Greenwich University. That was the most important, basically, digital solution conference basically in the world. And so I met Colin Rule, as I mentioned. He's the creator of the digital solution system at PayPal and eBay, and he's the first person who implemented crowdsourcing methods into the digital solution when he was working at eBay. Uh, the keynote was given by Richard Susskind. Richard Susskind is the public intellectual on the future of law. I mean, he's the most important. Yeah, I mean, he's like in some way, what Vitalik is to Ethereum, Richard Susskind is to legal innovation, if you want to put it that way. So he gave the keynote. I got a little fanboy picture with him, of course. I mean, why not? I mean, I need to. I'm also like uh, I am a Gen Z, so I like to have my selfies with my heroes. I mean, Gen Z with flexibility, if you understand what I mean. But so I was with Richard Saskin. We had other friends of Kleros, like Pablo Cortez, who's a professor. He was at our conference in Leicester a few years ago. Amy Schmitz, who teaches at Ohio State, and she's maybe one of the most important researchers on decentralized justice in the world. She has written different papers. One of them, I remember now, about this little solution for NFTs that was published at the blockchain and the Journal of Blockchain Law and Policy at Stanford. So yeah, so it was really excellent. So I got to catch up with Colin, for example, who, as you know, he's a founder of ODR that was acquired by the American Arbitration Association a few months ago. So Colin is now working inside the Arbitration Association, which is the company that deals with all of the consumer arbitration in the US. And he's applying technology into those processes and AI. And well, of course, as you know, he has been following Kleros for a very long time. So hopefully, I mean, new stuff will come from those conversations. So that's extremely productive week. I'm very happy with how it all went. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have asked for more, honestly. We had the best of the best coming to the conference, speaking, tweeting about that. So it was really excellent. Okay, so we have that. Is what had me like more busy last week. And then we have other lots of other different things. So one of the great things to comment is that we just reached the 100 cases at Lemon. So, this is a very important milestone. 100 cases in consumer disputes. It's starting to, take steam with extremely good results. So, I will maybe let Marcos explain a bit about maybe that and give his update on business development. If you are there, of course.
Marcos, I'm sending you the request. Let me see if you. Let's hope you can accept the request.
Yeah, okay. Well, you accept that, William, anything, you can give your update about the week if you want to comment something else. Yeah, let's give some time to William and then you can come. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I have more conferences. Friday and Saturday this week, I'm going to be at the Stanford Blockchain Governance Summit in California. So I'm going to be talking about 51% attacks and different sort of governance mechanisms and how you vary security models. So this is related to the research on spellbound tokens and identity mechanisms again. So the theme of the conference is about governance, which is something we research some at Kleros, but mostly, I spend all my time thinking about how to protect the mechanisms of Kleros itself, like the juror drawing and juror voting from various attacks. And conveniently, we use a sortition mechanism. We use a sortition mechanism that is also something people talk about as a governance tool. Classically, the idea, even dating back to ancient Athens of drawing people for roles in some kind of governance process in your community. It's not super widely used in the blockchain community, but I could sort of extend all the analysis I do for Kleros mechanisms and say, okay, if you had a sortition-based blockchain mechanism, this is what its attack resistance would be. And then of course, you worry about if you had a governance attack on Kleros or another protocol, how would that line up with attack resistance on the application? So for example, in Kleros v1, the governance and the sortition drawing of the jurors have basically the same attack model, that you should be resistant to 51% attacks. And I'll talk about how that varies as you look at the different models. So I don't know whether there'll be a live stream, but if you're interested in that, feel free to sort of try to if you're around the California area, the Bay Area, maybe you can still sign up for the conference or check out to see if there's a recording.
Yeah, it's also worth especially we are sponsors of the conference and we helped a bit in organizing. And this is the second conference of governance at Stanford, and we also sponsored the first one last year where I did go and spoke there. So this is the second one. Hopefully, it's going to be done every year. And yeah, we're happy to be at the very center of the universe of governance and blockchain. So this is we are honored to be part of this. So yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, Marcos, please go ahead.
So yes, a lot of updates from the BD side, at least from Kleros Enterprise. In first place, as Federico already mentioned, we're handling 13 cases now from Lemon in our courts, and 2 more are going to be created maybe, I don't know if this week or the next one, because they're in process. But yes, this is a lot of work for our jurors. That of course is what is our objective. And well, as Federico mentioned, we arrived to 100 cases from Lemon. Now I think yes, with these 2 cases that are coming, we are 103 cases from Lemon. So it's a lot.
And I think it's maybe,
yeah.
I'm not sure, but we need to fact check me on this, but this is probably the highest amount of cases that Kleros had simultaneously in all of its history. Maybe at some point Proof of Humanity, but this should be more or less, the highest amount of cases at the same time. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, to the point that we are having some problems because of the amount of cases, but of course, this is a good problem to have and something that it's going to be like we can solve. So it's not that bad. Besides that, about MetLife, we received a second case since the integration started. I think it was last month. The first one was okay. I mean, the resolution for jurors was okay. They were happy with the results. Besides, the winner was the user. Well, now today, we created what is the second case from MetLife. So jurors, pay attention to your wallets and to the court of consumer and neighbor conflicts. Then we are having a very important meeting on Friday. This is from a very important fintech company from Argentina. We still cannot mention this. I mean, the name of the company, but of course, if there is, we continue working with them or we have more information, we'll let you know the name and more details about all this. And then last week we had some other important posts with people from Junín and Misiones. For people that is not from Argentina, this is something like similar to what we did in Mendoza. I mean, they want to replicate what we did in Mendoza. With Junín, we have been talking for the last months, and the convenio marco, that is like the agreement, is already signed. So maybe new cases are going to come in next week. About Misiones, we just had a few posts, so that's all the information we have for the moment. But yes, Kleros enterprise in government entities and in companies has been growing a lot during the last weeks or months.
Yeah, I mean, and if you go to Misiones, I mean, do visit Iguazu Falls, which is one of the world, wonders of the natural world. Yeah, this is a great place to go. So yeah, we are having a lot of traction from governments that want to use Kleros for like consumer and neighborhood disputes to provide like a faster and cheaper service to citizens. So that is awesome, and we are at the point where people are actually coming to ask us, it's not even us going outside to try to sell the service. It's people coming to us because they want the same that we implemented in Mendoza. So yeah, this is extremely good news. I mean, it took us some years to get to this point, but now it's happening. So this is very good news. Okay, let me see if Fortunato, you have any updates from your side.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Federico. On my side, I think we recently added a new field on Scout in the token registry to comply with the Etherscan framework to display information on their BlockScan family. So when you submit a token, Etherscan takes information from us, populate their fields, and show them as verified by Curate. If you submitted a token before April 29th, you don't have to worry, because soon we will introduce a feature to allow you to add the missing field and to display everything correctly on Etherscan. The reason why I say this is that everyone knows we have incentive campaigns where curators submit an item, they get a reward for keeping the registry up to date, but we also have community members and partners who submit their assets, their contracts or whatever, in order to be verified by Scout and appear on Etherscan, BlockScan, MetaMask, Ledger, and so on. So to make it simple, you can think about Scout as a sort of Wikipedia, but better, because projects, companies want to be on Wikipedia. It's good for branding. It's good for marketing. It means they are famous, that they exist. So in Web3, you also want to be verified. You want to users to know you exist, you are present, and the best way to do so is to appear on the main aggregators like Etherscan, GnosiScan, Basescan, all the scans on the MetaMask interface or on Ledger. And yeah, with Wikipedia, usually you have some limitations related to the reputation system of the editors, and sometimes it may be a bit biased, but with Scout, you don't have this issue. You want your contracts, your token, your front end to appear on Etherscan, on BlockScans, and so on. Simply submit on Scout. It will be verified. Verification is public, and your project will be marked as a legit one. You will appear on these Web3, let's say, aggregators. And one last thing I wanted to add is that, talking about block scans, we will soon add verified items, verified assets on SolScan about Solana. And as far as I know, there aren't many certified data providers for Solana. So we are, I would say, pioneering into that. And of course, our home and main focus will always be EVM, Ethereum. We are like on V2, we are on Arbitrum. It's just that we cooperate with many companies in the Web2, in the Web1, of offline entities like real courts. So since we are open to all the levels also in the real world, I think it's good we stay open also for other Web3 projects in curation and providing a safer Web3 environment. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we go where the market is as well. I mean, we are also practical people. Okay. So thank you, Fortunato. Jean, community updates for this week?
Yes, we had earlier this week, we posted the development updates from April on our blog, and also sent to our email. And I really recommend the community to check it, because it's full of information and compiles a bit of what we discussed on the community calls, but also goes deeper, and you have links, and it's great to always see that there are many different avenues where we are progressing on different products going on. So it's good to check that. And today we had the first developer office hours with Parul, our DevRel. So we recorded it, and it will be available on our Telegram group. For now, we are doing it on Telegram. We will check if people like this format, or if they want maybe on a different day or time, we can adapt. But it's a space where developers that are building on Kleros can come and make their questions, and for example, ask about what were the latest updates, or what they need to do to integrate with V2 or with the Curate. So all of that, if you are building an application, you have this space. And you can also create questions beforehand, and then we can address them on this space. Where else? Well, I think the compilation of updates of development is so complete that I recommend checking that instead of me commenting on them. But basically, there are lots of updates on V2 to make it better and make it closer to the final version before the audits begin, and upgrades to various different projects. And one essential part of our V2 roadmap, which is VIA, is also having significant progress. So yeah, I really recommend reviewing that. And something new that was shared today that I mentioned also on the previous call is that Bamian wrote a thread about Lockler, which is it's hard to define it, but it's multi-use escrow solution. Basically, you have a smart contract that works as an escrow, and that you can make requests to it. For example, if you have if you are a DAO that you want to pay a contributor, you can just create this smart escrow, create a policy, and people can make claims to that without the parties having to well, be defined beforehand. And there are lots of different advantages to the normal escrow flow for integrators because it's more flexible. So this is very nice. It's kind of a side project from Wamian. He made it using like AI assisted development tools. So it's impressive, like this how this can help speeding up development, and also just testing out new ideas because now that this project is out in the wild, maybe people can get inspired by it and build like another project focusing on one of the use cases that this enables, and maybe that could improve and become a business. So these development tools like allow us to go to many different areas, and until we can find like a better fit. And I'm really excited about this one because I heard that this is a problem for DAOs when they pay contributors. There's no standard for paying contributors for milestones. And I think that a DAO that wants to experiment with that could do that with this tool.
It's
for now, it's still.
it's also worth mentioning that, I mean, we are at a point where we also want more people to start building, these apps that are linked to Kleros in different front ends that can be used for different things. So we built over the years with very great pain and effort because the tools were very different. Some showcase apps. I mean, we have an escrow. We would still have an escrow, but if you guys want to build your own escrows and connect it to Kleros, I mean, that's what we want to scale faster. Anyone could, make their own front end for the escrow and make their own company for an escrow. And you could, if you want to, have a skin, let's say you want a tiki lamp skin, you can do a tiki lamp skin. If you want a Vermeer escrow, you can do a Vermeer escrow. You could have like even a Vermeer painting the escrower. It could be like a yeah. So William would probably do like an escrow based on the Vermeer skin. So I would do, of course, a football one. I'm just simpler. And okay, so that is the goal, that people can build their own frontends, and the tools are way easier to use now, and anyone can, as a young, say, vibe code their own, apps. So go ahead, and what Wangen is doing shows you that anyone can do it, because he has done this by himself. I mean, without all of the development team that we have at Kleros. So yeah, you can do it too, because you have your agent development team now. Yeah, Jean, go ahead.
Yeah, and just to give an example, there is a person that uses Kleros escrow to sell tutoring for tests, and this person currently was using Kleros V1, sorry, escrow V1, which was well, the interface looks kind of outdated now. They could, for example, build a front end that is tailored for their use, that shows all the information that they are selling, and for their end user, they don't even know that there's Kleros behind that, or it can be featured, but it's not a Kleros interface, and that could be like make the user experience better, and also help this person sell more of their tutoring courses. So this is one example. Someone could maybe build an escrow that charges a fee for each transaction, that offers another service. So on top of it. So there are many different business that can be made. That's very nice that we are in this point. And also one more thing about easy like developer experience is that from what I understand, Kleros V2 is a lot easier to integrate with because there are lots of complexities that are handled by the contract of Kleros V2. So maybe that also can unlock more people building with Kleros.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, at some point, after Kleros, I will just spend my days like developing escrows or something like that linked to Kleros, with AIs or something like that. I mean, I would build like a Curate interface with like football and escrow with football and Oracle with football and all of the things with football team. Because, I mean, that's me. You can build it with whatever you want. So yeah. But you can start already
Well,
trying, yeah.
We made an interesting experiment yesterday, right?
Oh yeah,
Right. Maybe it's good to mention that
real
we
time,
like during
real
the
time.
Barcelona
Yeah, go ahead.
real time. Yeah. During the Barcelona and Inter game, there was a foul on Lamine Yamal, which was maybe in the border of the area. It's hard to tell if it was. Some people are saying it was inside the area. It should be a penalty. Some people, the judge, the referee said that it was outside the area. And well, Federico mentioned that there was a dispute, and I went quickly and created it. Also with some assistant of ChatGPT. So, and now we have the case open on V2.
I mean, that was like a real time thing. Okay, Gene, look, there is this controversial play. Please make these disputes. Let's see what the jurors say. It was basically, a way to prove that the crowd VAR that we, with Stuart, wrote about in 2018 during the Russia World Cup can potentially be an actual thing. We create the case. I mean, the time for deciding is like longer now because it's not optimized. But at some point, you could have like agents decide a case in almost real time. So instead of having like two guys controlled by I don't know some dark hand of football, the crowd, based on economic incentives and all about Kleros, make a decision in a more transparent way for a more transparent game, right? That's what we want.
Yeah. So right now, maybe the Barcelona fans cannot like challenge anyone. There's nothing that they can do. But
It's over
there
for
was
them.
some model like that, they could at least it's over for them. They could at least provide the evidence because there are many different angles, and some angles maybe they're are better than the one that the VAR had. So there are lots of things that could be improved. So it's a nice experiment.
Yeah. Okay, I think we are, I guess, done for today. I mean, we should start to be prepared for the Arsenal PSG game, right? I mean, that's what matters now, and also the Pope, right? Of course, we might have a Pope today. So yeah, everything in the end revolves about voting mechanisms, and all of these different mechanisms that people implemented, secret voting, and have you seen, William, have you seen that? How interesting all of the mechanisms they have to prevent attacks, and information leaks to the outside, collusion. I mean, it's in the end, it's the mechanism design, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert on the conclave, but like they have a long experience in mechanism design, so some interesting, definitely some interesting ideas.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen they have like these tools to detect these microscopic microphones that some people might want to put there so they can leak information to the outside and affect, the decision-making process. It's really, what we do at Kleros, it's done in the analog world. Even if the church, the church has, 2,000 years experience selecting popes, and well, check it, and they are the same concerns we have. They also have. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Gene or anyone else?
Just one interesting thing. The prediction markets about the Pope were prohibited, I think, I don't know, 17th century or something like that. So, but then they were like they're not illegal anymore. Like you cannot be.
Are you
I don't know
sure?
the word in English.
Excommunicated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to go to
yeah.
hell just for betting on who is the next pope. I mean, I'm not going to touch those prediction markets, of the popes. I mean, you never know.
It's just in case. Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you very much all for coming. And well, I guess next week in this community call we will have a new pope. So let's hope it's for the best of mankind, and let there be peace, right? Bye, guys. See you till next week.
Bye bye. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
See you.